spaces are left? How many spots are there where the King's Trail could be restored, where other archaeological features? How many other places are there on Maui where there's potential to revitalize an entire aqua? Which would you rather have, a golf course or revitalize aqua? And for the residents of Maui as well as for visitors. I mean, it seems a win-win.
Just had to ask, because oftentimes, in fact, golf courses under previous zoning selection were considered open space. When you look at community plans where the golf courses are, it says open space, and you're thinking,
Right.
I don't think it's open to me, but.
No, yeah, so if I want to go have a picnic right next to hole 9, right? How open is that open space? Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really not. It's not open space, so.
On the mainland, they have parks/golf courses. You know, and I don't know if that was part of the idea of Maui and Pine. But if you just talk golf course, that's another issue. As open space. I agree with Nikki because the idea is that if you're a tourist industry, people want to see Maui. That's what they want to see. That's why they saved all their money to take that 1 week or 2 week vacation. And once it's gone, I just tell people, stay out of my valley. Stay out of my valley. It's an interesting dialogue. That's why I think that the landowners has to give back. They're going to make billions and billions of dollars, but to sacrifice this last piece of Maui I believe, is economic suicide.
So, you're fairly familiar with the island, and I think, I speak for everybody, that this whole idea of sort of seeing the spiritual nature, not just the physical nature, but the spiritual nature, the picos, the energy centers, it's very important somehow that, it gets sort of forgotten in the planning process. It gets forgotten in our discussion of things. And so I'm wondering, other places that kind of call to you, I think some of us are here in the SaveMakena group because we've been called by this place Makena, and some of us don't even know why, It's like, I don't live anywhere near, I live across the mountain from it, but the place haunts me, And I think I feel the same way about Hana, and many other people do too. There's something that is so timeless and so connected with like an unexplainable energy. And I just wondered, what you felt about other places.
For me, it's my history. It's where my family goes back 900 years. Honokohau, Kahu, and Waihe. And so when my forefathers left the Big Island, the Waimanu Valley, next to Waipio at Honolulu, my mother's family comes out of Waipio. And so we had the double connection.
Umi people.
Yeah, the Umi and Liloa. So I come out of the bloodline of Liloa on my mother's side, but not necessarily to Umi, but to one of the other kids. So my connection goes back in that Big Island right there. So when they left 900 years ago, they came to Hana. Of course, they said that Hana was part of the Big Island, and they made their way through Hawaii, Kahu, Honokohau, and maybe parts of Honokohua, which they call Kapalua today. So my interest is koko, lineage, blood. But if you talk about the spirituality, the Hawaiians saw everything spiritually based, not physical. So when you're thinking about the deeper you go into Hawaiian culture, the realm of spirituality widens. You get deeper. That's where you get the kauna, the mysteries. The top was just basically a symptom of what was going on the bottom. So when people say, wow, isn't that a beautiful tree? I said, yeah. But if you understood the basis, then you will understand not just beauty, but purpose. So in Honokohao, Honolua, that's what part of my whole thing with Save Honolua is. I want them to think Hawaiian. Think Hawaiian. Think spiritually. Think. Because once you understand it, then you know what you're trying to say. And so our forefathers spiritually, and even in the Bible, it says it was out of the invisible the visible came, right? And so if it starts with the invisible, then why aren't we tapping into that source? So my contribution to this organization is to bring this into a spiritual direction. We're finding some really interesting things that otherwise we could not have seen or even imagined would have been possible. And Nikki, you want to talk about the coastal trail?
Which part?
The one they stopped.
That's really interesting, yeah. The landowner, Maryland and Pine wanted to put in a coastal trail from going from Kapaku out to Honolua. And it really wasn't until very late in the process that I had discovered, and it was only from watching Kahu, an Kahu program with the Planning Commission, that they're actually proposing putting a stairway from the, are you guys familiar with the new lookout area above Honolua? In the south, yeah, south end. They're actually talking about putting a stairway down the rock, like a rock stairway. Hello, you're welcome. Thanks for coming.
There you go, spirituality.
Well, this is the help.
This one and this one.
Anyway, so it was really late in the process that I had discovered that, I mean, you know, a coastal trail.
Sounds good.
Sounds nice, right? Coastal access for the public, great, wonderful. There's certain aspects of the coastal trail that were potentially really good in terms of keeping people away from the burial area, away from Apalua Puna Point, away from where the birds are, there's some endangered birds are breeding, what are they called? Yeah. So there was certain, you know, putting up signage and educational opportunities. So there was a lot about it that was pretty good. But then when I saw that the stairway going down from the lookout, constructing this cantilevered boardwalk and then stone kind of sort of to get to a part where it wasn't so steep and get to then put in this stone stairway down there. That's when I was really shocked. Here's this bay that's potentially being, you know, loved to death, and there's a third point of entry being proposed. You know, access, public access is not the problem at Honolua. Plenty of people find their way to Honolua, and the upper part of the area that's now like a really nice scenic lookout would turn into a parking lot. Anyway. I'm getting lost in all the details of this. Oh, so yeah, so it, as I said, I got into it, we all got into it really late in the process, and went to testify in front of the Planning Commission. They ended up getting the SMA. And most people said, oh, well, you know, that's pretty much, that's it. You know, you can cry, it'll go to state, then it next goes to, at the state level through OCCL, DLNR, to get their conservation district use application that needs to get approved there. And, you know, there's just a never give up attitude that I have. I mean, if there's anything that I can read, anybody that I can talk to, any breath of hope, you know, I'm there. I'll call anybody on the phone, I'll talk to them, I'll